Margo Morris, Robbie Morris, and Charles Moody, the bassist. And we are in, what town are we in? Stark, Florida. And we finally get to interview these guys. They're coming in for the 2014 28th annual Dukane ABATE Toy and Food Run. First question is, and I heard Wally ask it earlier, when did you guys decide to form a band of your own?
Actually, it was like 2009. We were being, Charles was out playing clubs in a place, a band called Southern Exposure.
Okay.
And it was like three-piece. Me, Charles, Kevin, and I. We ended up we had another guy who was singing, who was playing with us. And we played this gig in Palatka, and this producer came up to us and wanted to sign us. Well, we didn't have too many originals at all. But this is a band like that accidentally fell apart.
Yeah,
fell
it
together.
was accidentally that we were all in the right place at the right time. And it started just going from there and right people.
We went in the studio to oblige these people.
And this is before Garage?
Oh yeah.
This is before, this is all prior to anything coming up with this. Okay. What were you guys playing when you guys got all together?
Oh, we were playing cover tunes.
You guys were covering...
I was back to playing clubs, 5 sets a night, and all that kind of stuff. So,
and what bands were you covering?
all the classic rock you can think of.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, let's go into this album. This is, like I said before, probably one of the best albums in 20 years that where you get an album, everything hits you. It really has some deep roots. You can feel it in every song. What was your inspiration for this compilation of songs?
Actually, let me get back to what I was telling you earlier.
Okay.
We went in the studio and we figured out we didn't have enough originals. So I brought my brother in, and he had some originals from a long time ago, and so did his partner, Dwayne. They played in a band, Dwayne Johnson.
Right.
And so I brought them in, and it was just like, it never really was meant to happen, but it did. The band wasn't supposed to exist.
No, you're existing. You're existing. And so then you guys went in and just compiled a bunch of your originals. Because, and I mean, that one gets you too. I mean, your foot's tapping, you're going down the highway, especially up in Chicago. Next one where you open the sunroof. You know, that and Redneck and even Shantytown. I mean, like I said, we haven't found a bad song on this album yet. So, I mean, keep doing what you're doing at that. Let me see if I can read this in my context here. You guys have all made your mark separately with other bands. We kind of already went over this, but what brought you together to form Shantytown?
Yeah, well,
I think we went over it before we went on.
Yeah, that's kind of
that guy jumped ahead of your questions.
Right.
It was a three-piece band, me and Charles, Kevin, and I.
It was accident. Everything was just total accident.
We played this biker gig.
Yeah, it was a biker gig, but the
Biker
moving
gig
stars
and,
were lined up right,
yeah.
and the right chemistry was there with the right people at the right time, and they said, hey, we might be able to do something here.
So this producer that you don't have now said, you guys need some originals, going in and get them, or? Okay, all right. Let me see what the next one is. We've already answered that one too. We've done that a lot. Each of these songs on this album tells us, the listener, a story. That one can hear that, you know, as you listen. What story did you as a band want to tell?
We want to be realistic. We want to be able to touch the people on a common level. When we sing, we want to be able, like we're talking, like you live. You want to be able to visualize it, feel it as well as hear it. And that way, when you're whatever you're doing, whether you're grilling, barbecuing, or whatever, it's a part of what you're doing. So just down to earth music and down to earth people.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we went and recorded tracks. Most of it would be live. then you go back and do your little overdubs and stuff like that. You know, but we didn't do a lot of that. We didn't. There wasn't a lot of production into this record. I guess that's why, you know, we were going to name it Raw. SHANYTOWN Raw. A raw recording.
That would have made sense though.
It was basically off the cliff.
Now I'm thinking of naming the next record Raw.
Well, and I mean, the thing is that when you guys go in and you lay down any of these tracks, I mean, you're so good first time in. And so you guys did it just right the first time, and that, when you cut and print or whatever you say in that studio, you did it well.
A few of those songs were written back in the 1980s by my brother, Ronnie Morris, and Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
A few of those songs.
Which
And
they're
they never,
lead singer and lead guitar
Right,
with our
right,
band now.
right.
and they haven't never did anything with it, so I invited them both in to record y'all's old originals. Since you were 14 years old.
Yeah. Those songs you wrote as teenagers, maybe we should put those on the record.
And now I'm in a band with them instead of my uncle.
Well, you know what though, and that brings the tradition forward. I mean, your fourth installment in your nephews, and that's the Morris Boys, correct? Okay. Leonard Skinner. And from what Greg told me, you got to play drums with Ronnie Van Zant before, of course, that fateful day. Did any of that play in to the music you're playing today?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say that. Really, we just do our own thing. How it comes out, we can't help it.
I think
But
our music.
we get accused of that all the time.
We're influenced by that, whether we want to be or not, because you can actually hear the way our music sounds. There's no doubt. Even if we don't want it to be that direction, it's in our roots.
Well, the difference here is I mean, you guys, from us in Chicago, you guys are the Jacksonville Southern Fried Rock and Roll, as I said earlier. I mean, that's where we kind of classify you guys at. And I mean, and what you're doing is carrying on the tradition. And as I said before, I walked outside, I had said, it's so nice to have something fresh. I mean, yeah, we can all sing every word to every Skinner song up there. And any of the other bands from Jacksonville, we're pretty good at that now. But to hear something fresh come out, we can't wait to get you into Chicago to let the rest of Chicago know that there's a new thing coming out of Jacksonville and it's worth listening to.
Wait till you hear the next record.
Well, that's another question. Again, I'm like going back and forth with this poor little steno pad.
I'm probably answering questions before you even ask me.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It's all going into print, so we can put it all back and forth. The reason we're videotaping is so I don't miss anything.
There you go.
On this.
There you go.
Okay, now I think we've already gone to this one. It says each of you, as well as Margot, Robbie's wife, I put that in because this is supposed to be a print one, have written and contributed songs to this album. When the lyrics are compiled, did you lay down the music at the same time, or did the music come later after you had the words?
We laid out just about everything at the same time with an acoustic guitar, or with me.
You guys went unplugged.
Are you talking about a specific song?
No, just the whole album in general.
Yeah, I mean it's. Where's your question again?
Well, Ronnie, we gave Ronnie.
I think a little bit of both of it, because actually, as you do one, it kind of inspirates you for the other.
I think my idea for Robbie here is, did you have the beat of the song in your head as you're reading the lyrics? I mean, did it all come together one time, or did you write the lyrics and then come with the music, or did the music come and then you added the lyrics?
Actually, how we do it is we usually come up with a guitar riff,
right,
or something like that, and once you get the progression down of the song, and your sections down and all that,
right,
then you come back to it, and we'll try this way. Put your lyrics to it. Say there's an intro. Then you go into the verse.
right.
There's your first verse.
And you got a chorus coming out.
Yeah, the guitar player. It's usually the guitar player first. But if one of us comes up with a melody or something like that, And then the guitar player will incorporate his licks to the melody of the song.
Right, and then it just builds each level, your bass, the drums, you know, the vocals all come and they fall in place. Pretty easily, it sounds like. Like I said, you guys have some.
Not easy.
You guys have some time under your belt. I think you've written a few songs and played a few songs. You know, you guys have been.
You know,
doing this
especially
since
when you're not
youngsters.
really songwriters, you know, and then you got to write songs.
You did okay.
Well, we did okay.
The fact that he's walking,
musicians,
my
we're not
husband's walking
songwriters.
around mowing the lawn and he's singing the words to Brother. First of all, you shouldn't be singing. But he's singing their words
I
to
love it.
Brother.
I love Brother.
And he's staying on tune because of the fact, and I have not, in the 20 years I've been with him, first of all, there's like 3 words he'll remember from a song. And he's not the only one. Now that this album's getting some playtime, everybody seems to know the words, you know, and things like that.
That's a good thing.
That's a real good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Why SHANYTOWN? I know there's a story behind this. Greg told me to ask you. What is SHANYTOWN and why did you pick SHANYTOWN?
This should be carnal knowledge.
I know what a SHANYTOWN is growing up in the Redneck Riviera. At least I think I did, but it was Shanty, not Shanny.
Oh, that's how we
We did
pronounce
that
it.
on purpose.
Us Southerners, how would you say Shantytown?
Well, I've been calling you SHANYTOWN with a T in it for so long.
But if you
that I
say
spelled it wrong.
Shantytown, it just don't.
No, you gotta kind of blend. And
Don't drive.
And I'm good
Yeah.
now. You should see all the notes from January and February. It says Shantytown on everything that that I was writing down. Every time you gave me a phone call, it was Shantytown. And I couldn't find you anywhere on Reverb. I couldn't.
Shantytown.
Right.
See, it's
much better.
yeah,
It is much
It's
better.
how we pronounce it is how we spell it.
Okay.
'Cause with the T in it, it just sounds
T is
like
silent.
you're trying to be more proper. You're trying to be proper.
It made
about
you
it.
2 Yankees.
Yeah. Now what's the name of your band? Shantytown. I think I'd rather say Shantytown.
Yeah.
I like Shantytown better also. Okay, why Shantytown?
My uncle dubbed the name of our neighborhood, Ronnie Van Zant, my uncle, dubbed the neighborhood we lived in as Shantytown.
Okay. And that was in the Jacksonville area? Okay. For those of my readers who don't know what a shantytown is, what is a shantytown?
It's a ghetto.
See, I wouldn't say it was a ghetto.
Southern ghetto.
See, I wouldn't say it was a ghetto. That was not how I was taught.
It is. You know, it really
I was
is.
taught it
but
was the
it's
towns
not.
that go from, it was the farm workers that went from sharecropping to sharecropping to sharecropping and kind of built up their own little towns as
Nabby
they went along the way.
Maryland. We're talking Florida.
No. This is the strawberry pickers and things like that
It's like the
that
other
would come
side
down.
of the tracks.
Other
Yeah.
side of the tracks.
It's like Glendale Heights. That's where I live.
Well, you know, you got a shantytown everywhere you live.
We live in one.
Anywhere you live,
We are the
there's a
token
shantytown. You've done good by getting out of that neighborhood.
Nah, I haven't gotten out yet, but we leave a lot. Like I said, you're the 4th installment, Nephews of Leonard Skinner, you and your brother. And you performed at some huge tours. Johnny Van Zant, you've been with Loretta Lynn Charles. You have 2 gold records. And, and all of these years on the road, Margot told me that, you were blessed by being able to play the drums with your uncle, Ronnie Van Zant.
Johnny.
And you've been playing with Johnny also. How does that affect the way you can playing now? Have you taken anything that you guys have taken from your years of experience and compiled it, or have you started something new?
Well, I mean, nothing really is premeditated. It's
Just
whatever.
go through it.
We're not trying to be influenced by anybody. We're trying to influence ourselves, really. But we're not. We're not.
It's still there. I mean, you're fresh, but you're still influenced with your roots. So that's.
Well, it's almost
what
like
we
it's
are
in the
and what
water
we
or
are.
your blood.
Right. Well,
whatever,
that's
but-
what I mean. You've been playing with all of these big names for so long. Now that you're making.
Yeah.
You play with BB King. See, I need to write that down. Didn't hear that part of that conversation.
Open for it.
Bo Diddley played with him.
I wrote Bo Diddley when I was in.
You know, the best way to do it is just, you know, just various artists. You know, I played with a bunch of them through over the years.
How does it feel finally getting to do your own thing?
Great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Looking forward to the Chicago gig. You know,
Oh, yeah.
And, I'm hoping that'll.
It's gonna. We have faith.
It's gotta.
We have a lot of faith in this. We will see you in Chicago. I understand from your agent, Greg Thompson, and your manager, Glenn Halverson, this album was remixed and re-released. What changes were made to the original, and why did you change anything?
I really don't want to get into the details about that.
That's fine. This is a two-part question. The first part is, you come from what we consider, I said earlier, rock royalty. You guys are our Southern fried rock and roll. In your travels, you've been playing a lot in Florida and in the southern part. What are your plans besides Chicago? Are you planning on branching out and becoming?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is in the plans to get.
We hope to go on a world tour one day. Maybe next year.
We all get VIP passes, right?
Yes, you do.
I've already kind of asked some of these. Like I said, we kind of gone back and forth. Here's basically the last question. I've been told you guys are going to drop a second album, and this one I was waiting for one to answer. So if this is a no answer, please feel free to say no. It was Greg kind of dropped a statement that you guys have a second album coming out this fall. Is that something you do not want to discuss? Because I got a text message from Glenn going,
It's something we want to discuss.
We're working on that.
Okay.
We're working on that, and we're getting it's coming along. As far as time and date, we're not really. I can't tell you anything about that.
As far as I'm concerned, and I think just about anybody will come down. My husband, Wally, Judy, don't think that this has a bad song on this. What is your favorite song?
My favorite song?
And then I'll ask you, and I'll ask you.
Let me think for a minute. Brother.
Yeah. You said that there was a story behind that for your brother, correct?
Did I say that?
Oh,
maybe I did.
Yeah.
There was a
I don't have his phone
behind
number.
it.
So.
I don't want to get into all that.
No, I don't want all of it. This is for, like I said, this is for Thunderbolt magazine and for other print. His brother is your favorite song. That's the end of the question.
That's an interesting question because I really enjoy playing all of them. They're so fresh when you play them, and it's which one's bad, which one's good.
No, I'm not saying
Are you
anything.
asking?
That's the way I'm saying on my favorites. You know, so I'm really enjoying all of them. I don't really have a good or a bad there as far as my perspective goes.
Which one, if you're walking along, are you humming in your head, or are they all going through there?
At different times.
Depending on the situation.
Exactly. Because
It's a hard question.
I don't really have a favorite there.
No, that's like I said.
They're pretty equal to me. You know? I mean,
Are you talking about as far as listening to your CD versus playing the songs, or?
One that you most
Just,
fond of.
what's the one you're most fond
It
of?
would probably be Brother. Fishing, probably not Fishing, Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind, that's one of my favorites if I'm all stressed out before we can
As far as a hard rock song goes, we're not a hard rock anyway. It'd be Redneck.
Yeah, that one gets you going. That, and like I said, Mexico, I walk around and say.
You sing along with it, anything you can sing along with a melody, and you can sing along with it.
we listen to this stuff and play it so much by ourselves, so we know the material forwards and backwards. And it's you listen to it, you have appreciation for all of it. At the same time, you're kind of getting tired of it because we hear it so much. But you it's a really likable album for us to practice with and people to listen to. And so I have to say the whole album is my favorite.
That's good to hear. You guys are, we are so grateful that you're coming and doing our 90-minute set.
Be
What
prepared
else
for
are you
encores.
playing?
Be prepared for encores.
Can't wait.
And yeah, you're probably gonna get 2 or 3 encores. That's just a heads up for y'all. I'm yawling
We
again.
run out of songs, we pull them out our hat.
There you go.
Pull them out. Pull them out.
My favorite is loud pipes.
Really?
Well, Nat,
There's a reason. we
Kevin
picked
would
it.
love that.
loud
I
pipes.
told him about you guys. Yeah, yes.
I'm going to be utilizing that to change the law, maybe.